Hey guys, okay, so today what we're going to be learning is how to get your bids apples to apples using eJoist. It's really simple. We worked really hard to try to make this as easy as possible for you, but we are continuing to improve it and would love any feedback regarding this process from you as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. From your dashboard, we're going to have to navigate to the bids received screen for the project that we're interested in creating this template for. You can see any projects that have received bids recently over here on the right hand side under notifications and where it says bid notifications. So Star Destroyer Renovation has received a bid recently and it is marked as new, so that is why it's there. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to access it using our menu. First, select projects, then select bids received. You'll be taken to the bids received screen where you get to select the project. You can either find it in the list, but I prefer to type it out. I know I'm looking for Millennial Falcon, and hey, I've got 4 total bids so far. All right, and it looks like every single one of those 4 bids is for our painting trade and for the February work start bid package. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to expand this section by clicking the green button on this left-hand side. And I can see that I've received bids from Apex Paint, JR Coating, Best Painting, and Master Coatings, but none of them are apples to apples. And guess what? We're trying to learn how to get them apples to apples, so that is okay. All right. If you want to open each individual bid, you would go ahead and do so by clicking on the bid amount. So this is a bid from Apex Paint. It was actually sent to me, it looks like, by Andy Hill at Apex Paint. And it was sent to me on June 23rd. All right. I can see all the description, the line items, the type of the line item, and if they broke out the price for any of them, then that would be included here, and their total bid amount or any alternate amounts if there was one. There aren't any here, so I'm going to go ahead and close it, and you can do that for each individual bid. Now let's say that you open a bid and for whatever reason, you're just not interested in inviting this company to revise their bid to get it to apples for you, then what you would need to go ahead and do is on the right-hand side of the screen where it says Review Items and Template Builder, select Reject. We automatically mark all of them for review, which means that company will be invited to build a that company will be invited to get their bids apples to apples for you. But if you don't want to include them, select Reject. Or if you don't want their items to be added to the list, select Reject. But I do want to include Apex Painting, JR Coatings, and Master Coatings, so I'm going to have to keep them as review. And up here in the same row as my trade for the bid package that I'm working on, I'm going to go ahead and click Build Template. Now, all of the line items from those bids have been transferred to this screen for me to have as an option to select to add to my apples to apples template. This is what's unique about eJoist, is you don't have to write these out yourself. You can use the items that they submitted to you already. So if you want to add an item from this list on the left, you can go ahead and select it by clicking it and then clicking the add button, and it'll go to your apples to apples template on the right hand side. You can adjust this line item however you would like. Say you don't want the lids to be included for some reason, and you know what, actually this needs to be an exclusion, then you can go ahead and change it. Or if you change your mind, you can get rid of it. Easy peasy. Let's say you want to add multiple. You can use Control or Command if you're on a Mac, or Shift to highlight multiple and add them all at once. And you can quickly go through and change whatever you would like, however you would like. Now let's imagine that there is an item that is not listed. I'm going to go ahead and click this button down in the bottom right where it says add item not listed, and you can write your own item. Let's see, I'm going to put polish it back times 2, even though that has nothing to do with what we're talking about here. And there we go. Now that I've selected every single line item, I'm going to add notes to my bidder. Notes to the bidder, just whatever you would like to add. They can get a little, they'll see this when they get their revision request to revise their bid, to get it apples to apples with all the rest. And this is a really good spot to ask people to break out pricing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here. And if you want to add your contact info, you know, let's go with, all right. All right, and last but not least, there needs to be a final bid due date. If they don't submit this final bid or their revision request as it will appear to them by this bid due date, then they're not going to get the chance to make it apples to apples unless you extend that bid due date for them. And it's by midnight that day, just so you know. So this is due on November 6th at midnight. And then you click send, and it will be sent to every company that you had selected for review. Bada bing, bada boom. When your project has bids that are apples to apples, what you can do is you can see that here. You can go back into your project and they will be marked with a green check mark, like so. So this $310,000, those are all exactly the same items as this one and this one. All right, so they're all apples to apples, and what you can do is you can go in and you can select your candidate at that point. You can let them know, hey, you won this bid. Home Run Flooring. I like Home Run Flooring. We have a really good relationship, and they happen to also have low bid. So I am going to go ahead and send them my LOI, and that's it. Yeah, thank you guys so much for taking the time to learn this process today. I hope this helped.